A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. The planned HBO prequel to Game of Thrones is based on the Tales of Dunk and Egg novella trilogy by George R.R. Martin. The first novella in the series, The Hedge Knight, will be followed, while there may be some changes to keep the plot interesting and surprising. The spin-off's release date is anticipated to be in the middle to late of 2025. What do we know about A Knight of Seven Kingdoms? Here's what is known about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, the precursor to Game of Thrones that HBO is making based on George R.R. Martin's Tales of Dunk and Egg novella trilogy. Several of Martin's works have been adapted for the HBO television series Game of Thrones. These include A Song of Ice and Fire, which became the 8th-season flagship series, and Fire and Blood, which was turned into the prequel series House of the Dragon. The fictional medieval realm of Westeros and the struggle for power among the several houses and aristocrats of the Seven Kingdoms are portrayed in the television series. The third of these adaptations has been revealed for Max, the streaming service that combines Discovery Plus and HBO Max. Between House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, The Hedge Knight is a Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Martin released Tales of Dunk and Egg in 1998 together with The Hedge Knight. The Sworn Sword, 2003, and The Mystery Knight, 2010, completed the trilogy. Afterwards, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, a collection of these three novellas, was released in 2015. Following the first of these three novellas, the Max series will probably make some changes to keep things interesting and unpredictable. According to the most recent information, production on the upcoming Game of Thrones spin-off, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, is scheduled to start in early 2024. The Writers Guild of America strike that lasted the entire summer of 2023 had already delayed the series, but it was allowed to continue after the strike ended in September. Though many Hollywood on-screen actors joined their writing colleagues in the picket lines during the ongoing SAG strike, the tentative start date of early 2024 is still pending. The Hedge Knight, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, was first hinted to be in the early stages of production in 2021. Warner Brothers later confirmed the Game of Thrones spin-off on April 14, 2023. An image of a map of the Seven Kingdoms with the HBO Originals overlay, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, was shared on the HBO Max Twitter, aka X. A century before #Game of Thrones, there was Sir Duncan the Tall and his squire, Egg, says the post caption. A portion of the attached cast for the spin-off series was also revealed by HBO Max. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight will have executive producers Ira Parker, who co-executive produced the first season of House of the Dragon, as well as seasoned producers of both House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones, Ryan Condal and Vince Gerardis. Martin is also involved as an executive producer and writer. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, does not yet have a release date, but it is expected to follow the same production timetable as the other George R.R. Martin adaptations from Game of Thrones. Even if filming does start in early 2024, it will probably take some time before the show airs because it usually involves elaborate special effects that demand a lot of post-production work. Having said that, middle to late 2025 would be the earliest possible release date for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. What do we know about the cast and the story of the series? A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight has not yet released a cast list, but there will be much conjecture about who will play the two key roles, Sir Duncan the Tall and his squire, Egg. It will need assured actors with instant chemistry to play the relationship between the two, which is that of a low-born yet noble knight defending a high-born prince posing as a commoner to get to know the people of Westeros. None of the characters from House of the Dragon should make an appearance in the new spin-off, since too much time has passed between it and A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. A minor figure from Game of Thrones might make a fleeting appearance, but no major characters from the show should make an appearance at this point. Though he only makes occasional appearances throughout the narrative, Brendan Bloodraven Rivers is the brother of a Targaryen king who serves as the Master of Whisperers in Tales of Dunk and Egg. The official synopsis for A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight, has been made available by HBO. The spin-off series from Game of Thrones centers on Hedge Knight Sir Duncan the Tall and his valiant but youthful squire, Egg. Although the Targaryens are in the latter stages of their power, they travel throughout Westeros and engage with both the ordinary people and the lords and ladies. This may disappoint followers of House Targaryen who were hoping to see dragons. Aegon V Targaryen, the youngest son of King Maekar I Targaryen, will soon be revealed as Egg in the narrative if Tales of Dunk and Egg is followed closely. Aegon Egg chooses Duncan the Tall, a low-born soldier with extraordinary strength and skill, to go with him after he decides he wants to see how the small folk live. Dunk learns about honor and gallantry, while Egg discovers what everyday living is like for the regular people. One of the rare moments in Westeros when there is calm is shown in A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, yet during this period, the seeds of the future battles in Game of Thrones are sown. What is the cultural impact of Game of Thrones? There's a vast cast of characters that no other television show has ever had. Many characters have appeared in soap operas and other serials, but none have ever been as numerous and complex as those in Game of Thrones. Power, intimacy, family, nationhood, politics, conquest, and intrigue are among the characters and storylines that appeal to a wide range of viewers as a result, and they're all framed by a calculated and brutal kind of normalized violence. Professor of Medieval Literature at Bangor University, Raluca Radulescu, claimed that the program in particular had influenced people's perceptions of female characters. You may admire these women for their calm and stability, bloody-mindedness in the face of adversity, and single-mindedness in political games, even though they may have had incest with their brother, the woman stated. The show's popularity also proved that watching goes beyond simply sitting down to watch television. Game of Thrones has evolved from a book and television series into a larger popular cultural phenomenon that includes YouTube parodies, music videos, toys, jewelry, craft beverages, games, and more thanks to the attachment that some viewers have developed for the show. The program cemented the concept of event TV. People watch it together at the same time to avoid spoilers. Particularly during the last season, it draws people together to experience it. He remarked, Game of Thrones has already affected shows such as Vikings and Last Kingdom, according to East. In an effort to compete with Game of Thrones, Amazon is also said to have paid $250 million for the rights to an ongoing Lord of the Rings television series. Even the biggest critic of the last season of Game of Thrones would have to concede that the production value was excellent. The cinematography and computer graphics were superb, and the little screen is starting to trump the large screen in terms of popularity. While Game of Thrones' large budget was definitely a factor in this, other companies like Amazon have also made significant investments in their shows as a result. TV series that have visuals on par with or even better than movies could become popular as a result of this. Before Game of Thrones, there was a tendency to prioritize book-to-film adaptations over TV series adaptations. This can lead to bad adaptations like the Percy Jackson series and The Seventh Son, but it can also produce amazing films like the Harry Potter series. A TV program adaptation gives writers greater opportunity to dive into storylines and character development that might be trimmed from a 2-hour film adaptation. TV shows such as The Witcher and the impending Lord of the Rings series suggest that TV is increasingly being chosen as the preferred medium for adapting large-scale literary works. How do you feel about A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms series? Is it able to withstand the excitement surrounding Game of Thrones? Do share your thoughts on this in the comments section. For more interesting stories and updates, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon for notifications. Goodbye.